Okay, where is everyone ready?
Smile for Grandma.
So we just had a little meltdown. This is the Grandma book. Today's date is February 18th, 2024. Is that correct? That's all right. And this is the third installment of the Grandma book with Gino, Gavin, and Grandma Luketic. And there's Grumpy in the background with Gino now, so that's a nice addition to the series. Now we have Grumpy here. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Gino, are you going to read the?
Well,
she picked something this
I picked something.
week.
What kind of a child was I? That's
Well,
the
he's
question.
supposed to ask you.
Yeah.
You're following the format, and that might have something to do with the bottle of wine we just drank.
Well, what kind of a child do you think I was? Huh?
Good.
Huh?
Good.
Mostly
I was
good.
a mostly good kid, and we were like, what do they call that? Free reign.
Free range.
Free range, yeah, free range kids. Like, we just went out and spent the day outside and didn't come back until very late in the day anyway, or at least we were hungry. But I thought I was a nice kid. I learned about manipulation pretty young.
Okay. Do you want to give an example?
Yeah. My sister Alice, who's 3 years younger than I, and I were at the Frosty Cone in Elizabeth Township. That's an ice cream place, soft ice cream. And we were there with my dad, and he bought us each an ice cream cone. And Alice was taking her time with hers, but I was like super fast in eating ice cream, and I just ate it down real quickly. And then I started to beg Alice to let me have some of her ice cream, because I was a little pig. And she said no. So a nice lady came along, and she said, "Honey, won't she give you any of her ice cream?" And I said, "No, she won't." She bought me another one. So I learned a valuable lesson.
Fake it. Fake it till you make it.
Well, that's one memory right there.
All right, well, let Gino read another one.
Okay.
You got to let him do it, or this
Okay,
is like the whole
okay,
part of
Jane.
the whole thing.
Let's see, let's find one for you, okay? How about, well, I think we did this before, but let's do it again. What's a special memory?
What is a special memory do you have of your mother?
Oh, of your mother, yes. Of my mother, Annabelle Strathern Viscuso, born in 1920, died in 2007. What I remember about my mother is she would always threaten to hit us with a wooden spoon, but would end up breaking the wooden spoon on the table.
You mean like beating it off the table? I'm going to hit you with this.
Right. I don't remember her ever hitting us with a wooden spoon or with anything else.
Well, it's funny because I do remember you hitting me with a wooden spoon. So you didn't even give warning shots to the countertop. Not Vince, though.
But anyway, she was a very, very nice person, and I really.
She read a lot too.
She read a lot. She did read a lot.
She read all the
She
time.
was,
Very smart.
She was when I was young. I was probably in 4th grade or something like that. I would come home and we would watch the McCarthy hearings together.
Jeez.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but that's when I became aware of politics. you know, I started learning about how things worked, and
Go be with them.
you know, because she was a lefty. So I mean, both she was a lefty actually,
Left-handed and
and a lefty,
a socialist.
politically lefty. So she was a lefty. So she taught me a lot about how things, you know. We talked a lot about things like when the communists in McKeesport, there were a group of communists that like chained themselves to a pole or something like that in protests, and how they, you know, were arrested and anyway. But she was very liberal and very, you know, we talked about a lot of stuff. But I remember you know, she was always trying to do her best, and she would teach me things like she taught me how to make pie crust. You know, every time I make pie crust, I think about how she taught me, and how she taught me how gently you have to treat the dough, or the, you know, that you're, when you put the water in, and you don't
Just mix it in. You cut it in, right?
No, you don't.
Like
you don't work
little.
it. You just try to handle it as little as possible.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things that she taught me. But
So she was, her mother died when she was pretty young, right?
yeah, she was only 17 when her mother died.
And she had two younger brothers.
She had two younger brothers, John Melville Strathern and Thomas Allison Strathern.
And her brother John, his daughter Barbara lives in Canada. Those are our Canadian cousins.
Yeah, that's our Canadian cousins. And actually that's the only cousin we had on that side of the family.
Right.
Yeah.
And they their mother died when she was how old? 40?
Oh, she was 47.
47, and she died of a
Brain tumor.
And we do have a picture of her in a couple of them. But didn't they used to go down and camp on the river?
Yes, they did. They camped on the river in their cars, from what I remember hearing about.
Like sleep in the car?
I guess.
Like during the summer months, right? They'd go down to Clairton and...
Yeah. I don't know whether it was in Clairton or other places. I don't remember where they said, but they would sleep. I think they'd sleep in their cars. I mean, they would like set up little campgrounds, but sleep in their cars. They didn't sleep in tents, I don't think.
And they had the house. The house is still there in Clairton,
it's in
Coal Valley, right next to the gas station. It sits on a hill. And I remember the story about the tornado came through. Tell that story.
I don't remember that.
Well, do you not remember that? She was a little girl, and she was out playing. She had a little playhouse up on the hill behind the house in Coal Valley, and a big storm came over, and her mother came out and grabbed them out of the playhouse. She was there with her and her two little brothers, and the storm came through. I guess it was a microburst, and she got them into the house, but when they went back out, the little playhouse was gone.
Wow,
You never heard that story?
Never heard that story. Never.
I would make her tell it to me all the time.
No kidding. She never told you. She never said anything about it to me.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she got married to Munna. Well, how she met Munna, they were neighbors. They were next door neighbors.
13 years old when she met him, she said.
Yeah, and then they got married when they were 20.
Right after he came back from California, when he was in California.
And they lived right next door to each other. And I just found
2 doors. There was 1 door between them. Yeah.
Well, it was the 1940 census, and you can see they're both on there. They're both single still.
Yeah.
But they're living right next to it. So on that same sheet of the census, they're neighbors. So that's pretty cool. All right. Well, I think that was good. That was good. That's episode 3 of the Grandma book. And there's Gavin. Vinny's here. Amber in her usual spot. Pete in his usual spot. I'm here too. This is our birthday.
Did you get the kids?
Yeah, I said them at the beginning. Okay. Today was a little birthday celebration for Pete and I. Had our birthdays this week, and I turned 51, or he turned 51, and I turned 59. I look 51, but I turned 59. And Grandma made us the grandma chocolate cake with whipped 7-minute icing with coconut. And so those are the candles that Gavin's showing you. And that's all. And I say goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.